everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you all so much for joining me here today for another Pick a Card reading. For those of you that are new to my channel, welcome in. My name is Melissa, and today's topic is going to be answering the question, what karmic lessons are you currently learning? So for those of you that don't know, a karmic lesson is essentially like, you can think of it as like a theme or a situation that we maybe mishandled or didn't learn from in the past. And a lot of times with karmic lessons, they will be presented to us through sort of like repetitious patterns or scenarios, and the situation will keep showing itself to us over and over again until we learn the lesson, okay? So a lot of you probably have experienced karmic lessons through relationships, right? Maybe you break up with someone, but then the next couple of people you date have the same qualities and characteristics of the first person you broke up with. That would be an example of not learning a karmic lesson, right? Because it keeps coming back around. So this reading I thought could be kind of cool to explore just in general what lessons are presenting themselves to you guys at this particular point in time. May even help you to uncover sort of like any repetitious patterns that you guys have been noticing in your life in general. So this is a general reading. We're not necessarily asking specifically about love life or whatever. We're just asking in general. So really any topic could come through for you. Also, with this being a general reading, it is timeless. So whenever you guys are drawn to view, there's likely a message here for you. And with it being timeless, it doesn't expire, I guess is what I'm saying. Sorry. So yeah, if this is something that you guys are interested in, you're kind of wanting to do a little self-exploration, definitely continue watching. I will add, the reason that I added the Justice card as our Pick a Card instead of crystals or decks is because the Justice card in tarot has to do sometimes with karmic lessons or karmic contracts or sort of like balancing out the scales, if you will. So instead of us picking a deck, we're going to pick a Justice card today for our reading. So what I would love for you all to do is take a minute to sort of quiet your mind, take a deep breath, really kind of hone in on these cards here on the screen. And I want you to select the Justice card that you're feeling the most intuitively guided to. So whichever one your intuition is nudging you toward, really try to pick with your gut instincts versus your eyesight. And once you've made your selection, you can find the timestamp to skip to your reading in the description box down below. Pause the video if you need more time, and I will see you there. Hello there, Pile 1. If you all selected the first Justice card, this one right here from the Modern Witch Tarot, this will be your reading all about what lesson you are currently learning today. So let's go ahead and see. We're going to start here. So beginning the reading, Pile 1, we have the message of victory and success. This is the Six of Wands. We have the Ace of Wands coming in. And then we have a Two of Pentacles. So I'm going to grab the rest of your cards here in a second, but we're going to start here. Okay, so for Pile 1, Six of Wands is telling me that this lesson or repeated behavior, whatever the situation is that's presenting itself to you right now, this has to do with a couple things. As the card says, it's victory and success. So this is about like really achieving a certain level of recognition that you have been striving for. It could have to do with work, career, really anything in your life where you're wanting to be successful or come out on top. The Six of Wands also talks about taking charge of situations. It's about like the effort and energy that we put in and really kind of stepping up as that confident leader, being that one to really take the first step into something. Okay? This card can also talk a lot about ego too. So for some of you, the lesson could be about all of those things, but there's also something about the ego, the appearances of things. And with the Ace of Wands here, what I'm seeing is that I feel like you all have a lot of ideas or creativity brewing within you. Two Wands cards coming in, that definitely shows creativity and drive and passion. The Ace of Wands kind of coming up here in the past position is telling me that maybe whatever ideas you guys have had, they've only just remained ideas. Like maybe you guys get really inspired to do something, but there's not maybe always been a sense of follow through on the ideas that you've had. The reason I feel this is because Ace of Wands really talks about potentials, right? This is when we have this aha moment. We have this great idea. We're like ignited. We're excited. But in order to keep this ace growing and going, you have to put effort and energy into it. Otherwise, it just remains an idea. So with the Two of Pentacles coming in over here, it's like there's kind of this shifting energy around like weighing the options. And with the Pentacles being here, this is also really great because this is talking about like tangible action or tangible results, right? So it's almost like maybe for some of you, you're kind of moving from this sort of like false start energy or like burnout energy or like lack of follow through energy into starting to kind of weigh the options around like how we could tangibly bring this victory and success to life. This also is talking about like making the time for something, because when we have a Two of Pentacles coming in, we're juggling things. We have a lot of things going on. And so in order for us to really be able to dedicate time and effort and energy into something we're really passionate about, we do also have to make sure that we're creating enough time for it, right? So this could also be like some of you guys needing to kind of remove something from your life or deciding what needs to go so that you can be able to foster this energy in. So let's continue. So we have the Receiver. Okay. This is coming together now. And then we have overstimulated. Look at this. Okay, didn't I just say burnout? This says your vagus nerve is alerting you. How are you overdoing it? Too much of something is affecting you or the situation to burn out. So I feel for some of you, this can also be maybe talking about like your relationship with success too, because, you know, the Ace of Wands can also be that very overstimulated feeling, like where we're putting a lot of effort into something maybe, or like we're overly ignited about something, if you will. And so that would make a lot of sense with that Two of Pentacles here, because this is about balancing something back out again where we've done too much. The Receiver enjoys gifts and surprises, is comfortable taking what's given, likes when others take the initiative. Yes. So kind of going back to that initial message, you guys, it's like you all are probably really good at receiving too, especially coming up in the past position, because this is really combining well with that energy of like having the idea but not necessarily following through on it, because maybe for some of you all, you guys like it more when somebody else steps up to the plate, like when someone else does it or someone else gets the spark ignited and then you can follow, right? Or you can just kind of be the one to receive instead of having to be the one to go out and do. And so this lesson that's presenting itself to you is about you all needing to be the one to spark. You all needing to be the one to do and go out there and make it happen. So I definitely see that there's like this energy of starting to like weigh the options here around like, you know, how can you do it? How can you make it happen? And I think especially for a lot of people, I don't want to overgeneralize, but if you're introverted or if you're someone that just doesn't necessarily want the spotlight, it can definitely be more comfortable to be in this more receptive mode of just like receiving blessings coming to you or going with the flow versus like having to be the one to go out there and put your neck on the line for something. So the lesson here is about you guys putting your neck on the line for something, going after something that you want instead of waiting for it to happen or maybe waiting for someone else to help you do it. This is really interesting. All right. So we have the new moon in Pisces, meditate and contemplate. Okay. And we have the new moon in Libra, a new romantic cycle begins. So this doesn't necessarily have to be romantic for everyone. Maybe there is a romantic energy to this for some, because like this could also be applying to like your dating life too. For some of you, if there's like a message of romance here, it's like this is about you guys needing to go out and put effort into it if it's something that you really want. Yeah. What's cool though is that both of these cards, the Libra and the Pisces card, are new moons. And so this is sort of like maybe a newer lesson or maybe a newer energy that's coming in for you guys. Like a newer lesson that's being presented perhaps for some. And it's cool too because both of these cards kind of talk about like balance and duality in a sense. Like, Libra, again, we have it here as like all about bringing things into balance and harmony. And Pisces, this is also talking about we need to balance between meditate and contemplate. So like when I think of the sign of Pisces, like this is a very spiritual sign. Like this is a very receptive sort of sign. It's like a feminine sign in a way. It can be very dreamy and like head in the clouds and really like inspirational, but this is a sign that sometimes has a hard time like following through because they're fluid. They're a water sign, like their heads in the clouds. They're dreaming, they're getting the ideas, but they're not always going to be the one. This is not always the energy of like going out and doing like this, right? So I think right now you guys are kind of being guided to be in this place of, looking at this energy as a new opportunity for you to learn. Looking at this energy as a new opportunity for you to like upgrade and improve your situation. And I think this is a time right now actually of sort of like knowing what we need to do with our success, but taking a minute to kind of plan it out first in a sense before we jump in. Interesting, pile one. So I'm going to go ahead and close it out there. I believe those are all the messages I'm getting, but I would love to hear from you in the comments below how it resonates. Thank you all so much for taking the time to view today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hey there, pile two. If you all selected the second Justice card, this is from the traditional Rider-Waite tarot, then let's go ahead and see what karmic lesson is presenting itself to you guys at this time of you viewing the video. So starting off here, this is a 5 of Swords. This talks about conflict and defeat. Okay. We have the Devil energy coming through, and we have a 7 of Pentacles. So we're going to start here, and then I'm going to kind of bring the other cards in a moment. All right. So pile 2, 5 of Swords. This is a card that's really interesting. This is kind of about like when we're fighting a losing battle in a sense, like it's like entering into a conflict in which no one wins. Like you don't win, they don't win. It's just like self-sabotaging and pointless in a lot of ways. But I feel for a lot of you, especially with this being the 5 of Swords, that this is like a mental energy. Sometimes this can be like that tit for tat with other people, and maybe this is for you. Maybe this is about like relationships for some of you, but this is also like very much about like negative self-talk and being in your head in like a negative way, like talking yourself down or thinking the worst, making assumptions about a situation, and then because you've kind of like talked yourself into this negative headspace, that is the result that manifests in front of you, right? Because our thoughts affect the way we feel, which then affects our actions, which then affects our outcomes, okay? So I do feel this is why we're seeing like this energy of conflict and defeat here. And I do think for some of you, this could have to do with relationships too. Just intuitively, I'm feeling that with the Devil card being there, that this could also be manifesting itself in certain relationships of yours. So the Devil card, this is telling me that there's like this energy of low vibration in your life in some way, or has been in some way. And it doesn't always have to feel like, a lot of these cards come across looking like really like dramatic, but they're not always as dramatic in our day-to-day lives. It's just like an energy that can be there under the surface. So it's like, this could be something along the lines of like, an addictive behavior that you guys have, or relationships that are kind of like bringing you down, people that bring you down, or toxic dynamics between people. With it being here next to a 5 of Swords though, it definitely, again, feels like it's something that's more like mental. something that's happening, I don't want to say in your head, because like that sounds like condescending, but hopefully you guys know what I mean when I say like the mental energy. It's more about like the mindset of being held back, or the mindset of being stuck, or like the mindset of having to do something that you don't really want to do. It's a mindset that's bringing you down, is sort of the vibe I'm getting so far. But with the Seven of Pentacles coming in, this could also have to do with something material as well, because Pentacles talk about like our material realm, like where we live, what we do for work, the effort we're putting into life. I do feel that you guys have been becoming aware of this though, because Seven of Pentacles is talking about putting in the work. It's about putting in effort and trying to achieve success, right? But it's like with the Seven of Pentacles, there is an element of like more work still needs to be done, or maybe like a feeling of impatience because it's not coming along quite as quickly as we would like. And we need to look at this card as progress, right? Like it's progress, but it's not perfection. So if you guys have still been feeling like a little stuck in your situation, or you're feeling like, oh, I'm not getting what I need, I'm not getting what I want yet, the Seven of Pentacles is very reassuring because it tells me that there's improvements being made and that the result you want is coming, but there's work still that needs to be done in order for you to achieve your ultimate goal. So let's just keep going. So we have the 8th house. Wow, I could not speak. The 8th house, Scorpio, Pluto, how you affiliate with others, how you cope through transitions, and ancestral inheritance. There's a lot to unpack there, so we'll get to that in a minute. We also have balance. Balance is needed. Okay. Yes. I definitely see like this side feels heavy and this side feels lighter to me. And so like the way I kind of intended this reading to go was like this is sort of like the root cause of the lesson, or the past history of the lesson, where this is supposed to be where it's at right now and where you guys are at in the learning. So I think the really cool thing about your reading pile too is that you're coming to this realization that it's time to like fix whatever this is and put some balance back into your life. It feels lighter and happier over here in the present side, okay? So kind of coming back to this root cause, like there's a lot to unpack here, like I was saying, Scorpio, Pluto. So these signs, Scorpio and Pluto, really talk about like deep transformative changes. And especially when I think of the sign of Scorpio and the planet Pluto, I think of like deep-seated things that are coming into the light, that are revealing to us. And I love that it talks about ancestral inheritance, because I do feel that maybe some of this for a lot of you could be sort of like some sort of a pattern that runs in your family, that's been in your ancestral lineage over different generations. And maybe you guys are actually the ones that are meant to fix it. Like you guys are the ones that are meant to heal it for your lineage, which is really cool to think about. This also talks about how you affiliate with others and how you cope through transition. So it could be like we talked a lot about relationships in this reading as well. So this could definitely be for some of you having to do with certain relationships in your life and the way that you're relating to other people. Like, do you look at your friends as your competition? Do you guys get into these like toxic spats with one another? Or do you look at your friends as loving connections? Like, do your friends bring you down, or romantic partners or whatever? Or do they lift you up? Like, what is it? What do you all do with each other? What's the dynamic at play in your relationships? Is something I think you may want to examine here. And also how you cope through change and transition is coming up. So for some of you, it's like, this is like a really negative mindset around change that we can fall into, like where we want things to be comfortable. We want it to be the same. Humans, like we're creatures of habit, right? Like, and you kind of may work yourselves up to this point where it's like, I don't want to change. I don't know if I can handle the change, but you can. And that's what the lesson is about. All right. So we've got a full moon in Leo. Don't let pride get in the way. Definitely think this is relationship related for a lot of you guys with that. We also have third quarter moon, adjustments are required. Yes. Okay. This is all coming together really nice. So the cool thing, you guys, is like with a full moon coming in, I kind of feel like I've been feeling this whole reading that you all are kind of aware of this energy. And I like seeing a full moon here because it tells me that like this is something that you're closing out soon. Like you're kind of at the end of this lesson, at least a part of this lesson, I would say. But there's a need here to release pride, that beautiful Leo energy, right? Like we love a good Leo, but they could definitely be very prideful at times, right? Ego could be getting in the way from you guys being able to kind of surrender to this energy and be able to move forward. Leo also talks about like the way that you're showing up, you know, your persona, the way that you show yourself to the world. Who are you? Your authenticity, right? So I definitely think that there's a message here for some of you guys about the way that you are presenting yourself to the world. And how is that working out for you when you're trying to connect with other people and accomplish goals? We also have a third quarter moon here. This talks about adjustments are required. And this is also sort of what the Seven of Pentacles is about. So I feel like even though you all have done a lot of work on this and you've become aware of this pattern, there is still more work to be done, or we're kind of at a place right now where we can measure, okay, like I've gotten some results, but I'm still not quite where I want to be. And this is saying like, okay, let's assess where you are, but now there's like a little bit of tweaking that we can do to bring more balance back into the situation here. So you all may be guided to sort of like switch things up a little bit on this healing journey so that you can start to see speedier results manifesting for you. So very cool reading, pile 2. Definitely drop me a comment and let me know how it resonates. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to view today's reading, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hey there, pile 3. If you all did select the third Justice card, this is from the Twin Flame Journey Tarot by Mystic Moon Oracles. Then this is going to be your reading all about what lesson you all are currently learning. So let's go ahead and see what comes through for you. Okay, so we have a third eye chakra coming in. Wow, that is cool. Let's continue on. We have the Temperance card coming in. And then we have a King of Wands. Ooh, okay. Very cool. Okay, so with the third eye chakra coming in, there's a lesson being presented to you guys about your spirituality, intuition, and your ability to trust in yourself and trust in your abilities. There is also, for some of you, a message here, I feel, around psychic gifts too, because third eye typically talks about our psychic abilities, like the way that we can see, sense, feel, and know without needing a lot of information, right? So in the past position here, or like the foundation or whatever, the root of this lesson, we have the Temperance card, which is really interesting. So it's like, I feel like for some of you in the past, I'm wondering if there was some sort of like belief system that was different than what you have now, that blocked your intuition from developing, or that blocked your sense of being able to trust your own gut instincts. Because Temperance, while it is a beautiful energy that talks about like balance and blending, and it talks about like patience and divine timing, this also is about trying to blend energies together that are very opposite from one another, that don't necessarily mesh easily. And so when we look at this Temperance card, for example, we have fire, and then this looks to be maybe water. It's hard for me to tell. And they're cupping it in their hands, and the goal is to try to create like synastry. Is that a thing? Synastry? Or just they're trying to create the perfect blend, right? So for some of you, there's like this energy of like trying to balance opposite energies in the past, and it maybe has inhibited you from being able to act on your own intuitive impulses. We're going to get more info here, but that's just kind of like initially what I'm seeing here. But Temperance, to add more clarity to like more tangible things, like for example, Temperance for me talks about like maybe we've got like different religious beliefs in a situation. One person believes one thing, one person believes another, and we're trying to blend them. Maybe we have different upbringings and ways we like view the world, and we're trying to blend those things together. Maybe we have different cultural backgrounds. We're trying to blend those things together, right? So think of like extreme opposites and trying to integrate. And something about this opposition is like, I feel like it's made it hard for you guys to fully accept or embrace like your spiritual insights that you get. Or just like that feeling of trusting yourself, because there's like this other energy at play, if that makes sense. Okay. So King of Wands, what's kind of drawing my eye here is that we have fire coming through in both. So it's almost like, I feel like this group, you guys have a lot of passion within you. You have like natural leadership qualities within you. It's almost like, was this water energy like diffusing your fire in the past or something? I don't know. But what I'm seeing right now with this King of Wands, it's like, I feel like you all have really stepped into your own as a confident individual. Like, it's like you have goals that you want to achieve. You have ambitions that you want to reach. And this is an energy of really taking charge and going for it, like full force, without any fear or without like questioning yourself. Because King of Wands is like very confident energy. Like they go for what they want. They know their worth. They trust their gut, right? Like they don't need affirmation from anyone else to do whatever they want to do. They're just going to do it. And so a lot of you almost feel like could be even creating something really cool right now and really like living into this energy of stepping into your power and being the one in charge of it. So this is cool. Let's get some more info. We have children. The innocence of a child is involved. This also encourages you to seek wisdom through a child's perspective. It's playtime, okay? We also have playing the fields. Okay. So for some of you, I feel like this energy of like the third eye and the lesson around it probably stemmed from childhood. This could have been like some sort of like a pattern that you guys picked up from childhood, something you learned about like, you know, belief systems, or something you learned about like from your parents or were conditioned to believe that maybe there were certain things that like you couldn't do. Maybe it was like limiting beliefs. Maybe it was good things. I'm not sure. But there's certainly something here around children. So I think like for you guys, your reading, I would think about like, what did you experience as a child? This talks about like seeking wisdom through a child's perspective. So it's like, what did you guys see? What do you see when you reflect back on your childhood? What is something that you see that is still maybe like lingering today? What energy? We also have here playing the field. So this talks about like exploring your options. And I definitely see that you all are very much in this place of like, you know, the King of Wands is definitely someone that's going to explore their options. Like they don't settle for anything less than what they deserve. So like, whether this is talking about a love situation for some of you, a work situation, a living, like any situation you all can be thinking of, it's like, there's like this evolution from where we were as a child to where we are now. And it's like right now, it's like you're in pursuit of the right opportunity, not just any opportunity. Like we're not necessarily going to settle for something that doesn't feel maybe easy for us, right? Because again, with the Temperance card, this is about like having to have a lot of patience to make two opposite things work together. And I feel like there's like this energy of not wanting to do that anymore. It's like we're wanting something that just resonates with us, that feels right, that really ignites our passion. Let's continue. Okay, so we have a full moon in Libra. We have a win-win outcome is forecast. We also have your commitment is being tested, the first quarter moon. Interesting. So the cool thing is like, it definitely feels as though like you all are really like on the way of like mastering this pattern or this lesson, because with the full moon coming in here, it's like this typically talks about us closing out a cycle, closing out a chapter in our lives. Libra can also talk about relationships, so this could definitely be about relationships for some of you out there, but Libra also just talks about things coming back into balance, right? Things becoming fair and like balance, like I said. And the cool thing is it's like, I feel like no matter what you all choose to do with this energy, it's like you're still going to come out on top no matter what. It's interesting energy. It feels, honestly, it still feels a little changeable, because with the first quarter moon, this talks about your commitment is being tested. So it's like, I feel like this is a time where you guys are really trying to, it's like you're being tested on whether or not you can stick to your vision, or whether or not we're going to go back to things that are maybe more familiar or comfortable, but not quite in alignment with this freedom vision that we're having over here. But it definitely feels like the choice is yours about like what you want to do, and there's still positivity coming to you either way. So I think I'm going to go ahead and close it out there, group number 3, but definitely drop me a comment. Let me know how this message resonated with you. What situation do you all feel that this pertains to in your life? I'd be curious to hear from you. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hey there, pile 4. If you all selected the Justice card from the Light Seers Tarot, this is going to be your reading, where we're going to see what lesson you all are currently learning. Okay, so starting off here, we have the 4 of Wands, foundation and achievements. Okay, love that. We have an Empress card, and we have a 6 of Pentacles coming through. Beautiful energy. All right, so pile number 4. I feel like whatever lesson you guys are learning right now, it has to do with, as this card says, like foundation and achievements. But intuitively, when I was seeing these cards coming up, I do feel like it has to do with relationships for a lot of you. We also have an Empress card here, which is like the mother card in the tarot, and you can see that she's pregnant. So I do feel like for a lot of you guys, this lesson may have to do with family. Like it has to do with family, relationships, soulmates maybe. If that doesn't resonate though, it could also have to do with like, you know, when it says foundations, like that is really talking about like the structures upon which your life is set up. And it's about like how stable you are, how self-sufficient are you, how strong are those structures. So for example, it's like, do I have a job that allows me to pay my bills? Do I have a home that's in a safe neighborhood, right? Like things like that, you know, where it's like, do I have a retirement plan set up so I'm set up for success later in life? Like that's what I mean when I say like foundations. So it's definitely a dual message here. But the first thing that really hit me was relationships. So with the Empress card being over here, I feel like those of you in this group in the past, I think that, or maybe even now still, you know, you all are coming through as being very like nurturing, really in tune, I think, with your divine feminine energy of like wanting to receive, wanting to nurture, take care of. Even for some of you, this can be talking about like an idea that you had or something that you like gave birth to. So literally could be a child for some of you, or like giving birth to some sort of new idea in the past that you really nurtured and brought to life. But here now in the present, we have this energy of a Six of Pentacles coming in. And the Six of Pentacles talks about the actual tangible effort we're putting into something. So it's like, even though you may care a lot about something or someone, right, that nurturing energy is there. The Six of Pentacles is how much of my energy am I really spending on it, right? In an ideal situation, we want reciprocity, right? We want to be in an equal exchange of give and take situation. So whether this has to do with a relationship or a creative idea or a partnership or work, like there's something that's being questioned here about reciprocity and the amount of effort we want to put into something. So let's just keep going here. So we have frontin', acting like you don't want something when in reality you do, putting up a facade as if you're better than the truth. Okay, interesting. We also have in and out. This situation is unstable. It may look, taste, and smell good, but you'll be waiting in line for a while. Okay. That's so funny, in and out. Think of In-N-Out burger. So I definitely see with frontin' coming in, like maybe some of you all have this like natural innate ability to like care for others and nurture. Maybe this is something you all, a trait you inherited from your mom or a maternal figure in your life. But maybe there's like this energy of not really wanting a relationship or not really wanting a partnership or a family, when really the whole time you actually did like dream about that, even though you were trying to like put up this wall, like you didn't. But like here with in and out, it's like, I feel like some of you guys are in a situation that's like the card says, the situation is unstable. It may look good, but you're going to be waiting for a while. And this is making me feel like there's this lack of reciprocity in a situation you guys are in right now, whether it's like a love relationship, a work relationship, like whatever it is, like the other party is like not really giving to you what you deserve to receive, okay? If this is like a relationship reading, you guys, like this is like the quintessential sort of like one person is just like not that into it while the other person is waiting around for that attention. Like Six of Pentacles can be like a very breadcrumbing type of energy. So I'm not saying that you guys are doing the breadcrumbing. Maybe for some of you, you are. But someone in your situation is like stringing the other one along, which is why we have the in and out of like, you're going to be waiting for a while if you expect this to like come to fruition. So I do feel this lesson for a lot of you is having to do with like what you're willing to accept in terms of treatment from others. And when you guys are this beautiful Empress energy, there's going to be people that want to be in your space because they just feel good being around you. There are going to be people who want to work with you because they see your value and it feels good to work with someone of your status and stature. But you know, we have to kind of watch and put up proper boundaries to make sure that the people that we're allowing into our space are deserving to be there and are going to bring to the table the same effort and energy that you're bringing to the table. All right, so we have the new moon in Virgo coming in. Okay, and we have a full moon in Sagittarius, looking at the bigger picture. Okay. So this is a time right now where you guys need to kind of like zoom the lens out a little bit on your situation. And for a lot of you guys, I don't know, I still kind of feel like there's still a little bit more work to be done on this karmic lesson. But there's a potential, like with the full moon coming in here, I do feel that there is like this energy of becoming more aware. Because typically when we're looking at the bigger picture, we're zooming the lens out is when we're trying to find answers. This is when we're trying to find the pattern or like maybe the root cause of an issue. So we kind of zoom out the lens and we're looking at it from the top down and we're like, where do I see? What do I see when I look at it from this higher perspective, right? So there's definitely a need here to continue doing that work, to look at this situation from a bigger, like a higher perspective so you can better see what's going on. Sometimes when we're still like in the nitty gritty of it and we're caught up in every detail, we don't really see it truly for what it is because we're obsessing over those little things that are there to distract us. We also have the new moon in Virgo coming in, a time to give rather than take. Honestly, you guys, I feel like this is talking a lot about giving to yourself, especially with it coming up with that Empress energy there. Like, I think there's a need here for you guys to kind of focus on yourself for a little while and not be afraid to set some boundaries with others. But I also think for some of you, like, if you identify with this sort of like breadcrumbing of effort energy, like you feel like that's a pattern that you engage in sometimes, a behavior that you engage in sometimes, this is a message that it's time to reciprocate a little bit more, you know, especially with that front end energy. I think for some of you, maybe it's like you're wanting a connection or you're wanting intimacy or you're wanting something from another party, but you're acting like you don't when really you do. And the way that it's coming across is that you're in and out, like it's a breadcrumbing type of energy. So there's a message here around really needing to reciprocate and tune into what the other party's needs are instead of just being there to receive it. Okay? So this is interesting, pile 4. I would love to hear in the comments what you feel this reading is talking about in your life. Drop me a comment down below and let me know. Thank you all so much for taking the time to watch today's video, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.